Good morning, sir.
Good morning. So in yesterday's class, we were discussing about sulfonamides and chlorotrimmoxazole, and we ended up with the basics of what is quinolones and fluoroquinolones. Now, before we start what uh, what we are discussing, I would like to ask you a few questions. First of all, what is the mechanism of action of sulfonamides? Do you remember anything? So the question is, what is the mechanism of action of sulfonamides? See, from here on out, I'll randomly ask questions. I would strongly suggest that you read after the class.
Sir,
Hmm.
it is a bacteria static drug which stops the growth of bacteria and it
Okay. Okay.
inhibits inhibits the enzymes and it does compete competitive inhibitions.
Hmm. Okay. किसका competitive inhibition करता? You are going on the correct lines.
Uh, it replaces the different molecule, replaces the different other substance and takes place on the same sites.
वो correct है बेटा. What is it inhibiting? Which enzyme is it inhibiting? अच्छा ठीक है. What is
For
not formed because of sulfonamides? One product is
synthetic
not formed. What product is not formed because of sulfonamides?
dihydrofolic acid.
Okay. ठीक है. डी एफ एल लिख दिया इसको. अच्छा ठीक है. Now dihydrofolate acid is not formed. Okay. Now moist. Dihydrofolic acid is not formed. ये बोल रहे हैं लवली कि सल्फोनामाइड की वजह से डायहाइड्रोफोलिक एसिड नहीं फॉर्म होता. किस चीज से फॉर्म नहीं होता? Which substrate is not getting converted into dihydrofolic acid? How do sulfonamides work and how is inhibition of dihydrofolic acid production occurring? ओके.
सर अभी आए
हाँ.
सर अभी आए
क्या बोले?
अभी आए
कल आए थे ना? कल नहीं आए थे क्लास को?
कल आए थे सर सुने सर
कल आए थे. हाँ, फिर क्या
कंफर्म
करें? कल सुने नहीं? कल थे ना?
सुने
I'm
सर
asking specifically.
सर एक
हाँ,
बार
सुने?
क्वेश्चन रिपीट कीजिए
What is the mechanism of action of sulfonamides? How do sulfonamides work?
पैरामाइनो बेंजोइक एसिड
Hmm.
सिंथेसाइज होके डाइहाइड्रोफ्लोरिक एसिड बनता सर
Okay.
उससे डाइहाइड्रोफ्लोरिक एसिड रिएक्टिनेस के वजह से टेट्राहाइड्रोफ्लोरिक एसिड बनता
Okay. ठीक है. This is what normally happens inside the bacteria. Now, where do sulfonamides come into picture? ये हो रहा करेक्ट है. बैक्टीरिया में ये हो रहा एंड द बैक्टीरिया रिक्वायर्स टेट्राहाइड्रोफोलिक एसिड टू डिवाइड एंड मल्टीप्लाई. आप सल्फोनामाइड दे रहे तो उसकी डिवीजन रुक जा रही. कैसे रुक रही? व्हाट इज हैपनिंग? देयर इज वन फेलो प्रेजेंट हियर, one enzyme present here. What is the name of that enzyme? Anyone else?
है
It's an
फोलिक
open.
एसिड सिंथेसाइज फोलिक एसिड सिंथेसाइज
Folic acid synthesis.
सिंथेसाइज
Okay. Folic acid को synthesize करने वाला पावर से is folic acid synthesis. So your sulfonamides essentially block this enzyme. They will act as a competitive inhibitor to PABA. They will go and capture the same site on that enzyme that PABA occupies and does not let PABA get attached to the enzyme, wherein enzyme substrate complex is not formed, hence product is not formed. Okay, that is the mechanism of action of sulfonamide. What about trimethoprim? Yesterday we also discussed about cotrimoxazole, right? So cotrimoxazole, I told you it is a combination of one sulfonamide drug, which is sulfamethoxazole, and another drug called trimethoprim. वो trimethoprim यहाँ पर एक enzyme देता, उसको inhibit करता. Who is that fellow?
डाइहाइड्रोफ्लो folate reductase.
Hmm. Dihydrofolate reductase. I'm not writing the whole name. That is the this thing. क्या बोलते हैं abbreviation. थोड़े textbooks में आप लोगों को abbreviations भी मिलते हैं. Okay, you have to get used to it. Sometimes it will be mentioned as abbreviation and नीचे star mark लिख के they'll write the whole name of the enzyme because sometimes it will just not be enough space. Anyway, so this is the complete mechanism of action. This is the mechanism of action of thiamethoxam. कोट्राइमोक्सिजोल रहा तो इसको एंड इसको दोनों को इनहिबिट करता. अगर सल्फोनामाइड ही है तो ओनली इसको इनहिबिट करता. Essentially, even if you give sulfonamide or if you give cotrimoxazole, bacteriostatic effect is seen. The bacteria will not be able to divide. Now, why are sulfonamides not used as much nowadays?
Other drugs are came advanced.
And drugs आए तो इसको क्यों रोके?
अच्छा?
दूसरे ड्रग्स आए भाई, बहुत सारे ड्रग्स आते रहते हैं, इसको क्यों रोके?
So because it is very rich in PAB para aminobenzoic acid, so it is ineffective in presence of pus.
Okay, so I can still give it in situations where there is no pus, no? Why is sulfonamide not used as much nowadays? It's an open question to everyone. Why are sulfonamides not used as much nowadays?
Hypersensitivity is more, sir.
Okay, that is one. Yes, there's a very prominent reaction which is SJS that occurs. Good. So there is this. Yes, SJS ho sakta, which is an extremely, problematic hypersensitivity reaction that the patient more often than not dies. That is one reason. Yes. Another.
Crystal
Pregnant women और child में नहीं रह सकते.
उनको नहीं दे सकते तो वो population चले गया. Yes. And
it also causes crystal urine.
उसको आप क्लियरली इजीली ट्रीट कर दे सकते हैं. क्रिस्टल यूरिया हो रहा भी तो ज्यादा पानी दो या ज्यादा फ्लूइड दो, ट्रीट है. दैट इज नॉट दैट बिग ऑफ अ प्रॉब्लम. देयर आर बेटर ड्रग्स आउट देयर. There are better alternatives out there. You can simply take a drug which does not have as much toxicity and that does not have such adverse effects. That is a simple answer. इसकी toxicity जितनी है उसके comparison में नए drugs की toxicity कम है and they have a very similar spectrum. So it makes no sense to give sulfonamides until unless specifically it is indicated. Now you will find some certain bacteria and certain organisms which will be only susceptible to. अब जब कल्चर एंड सेंसिटिविटी टेस्ट करते, कल्चर सेंसिटिविटी टेस्ट में you use several antibiotics and you see which antibiotic that particular bacteria will be susceptible to. Let us suppose you get a bacteria that is not susceptible to other antibiotics, but it is susceptible to sulfonamide. जब देना पड़ता. Again, considering everything, you will give or you will use some other drug. See, even if a particular antibiotic is resistant, let's suppose one organism is resistant to one particular antibiotic, there are 2-3 things that you can do. One thing you can do is simply give an alternative drug. उसको काम नहीं कर रहा, that concentration से काम नहीं कर रहा, तो आप दूसरा drug दे दे. Second thing you can do is increase the dose of the drug. So whenever culture and sensitivity is done, there is a standard drug dose that is chosen. And more dose पे you will get the sensitivity in the sense that at this dose the bacteria is sensitive or at this dose the bacteria is resistant. Let us suppose that at a normal dose the bacteria is resistant to a certain antibiotic that you want to give. You can give an alternative antibiotic, but there will be instances where alternatives cannot be given or alternatives will not be available. तो आप क्या करते हैं, जो original drug था उसकी dose बढ़ा देते. You'll significantly increase the dose of that drug 20%, 30%, and then you'll give. So there is a chance that the antibiotic may be able to kill. Okay? So those are two options that you can do. More often than not, alternative choose कर सकते. In certain situations, alternative काम नहीं आते, so you'll have to increase the dose. Okay. So what are common adverse effects of sulfonamides?
Hemolytic anemia, renal irritation.
Hemolytic anemia किसमें होता? Hemolytic
G6PD.
हाँ, क्या है वो?
Defect.
G6. एक defect नहीं, what is it? It is a defect corrected. GC, what does G6PD stand for? And what is that? So G6PD is an enzyme called glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase. In certain individuals, about 3% of population in the world, they are G6PD deficient. उन लोगों के अंदर G6PD नहीं रहता या normal levels में रहते, because of which certain normal criteria, certain normal metabolic pathways that are supposed to occur will not occur. And what will eventually happen is some drugs can trigger a adverse reaction in these patients. There will be other adverse reactions as well. Specifically sulfonamides जो क्या करते हैं, sulfonamide अगर आप G6PD deficient patient को दिए तो उनके अंदर hemolytic anemia होता, सबके अंदर नहीं होता, ठीक है? Okay, that is one. And you were telling something else, no? Connectors. What is
Yes, sir.
connectors? Who is connectors? Connectors is a condition that occurs in newborn babies when their liver is not able to excrete bilirubin properly, and that bilirubin crosses BBB and it will enter brain. Okay, that is connectors. Essentially, invasion of bilirubin into your neuronal tissue will be connectors. Okay, this mainly occurs in newborn babies. That can occur because of sulfonamides. Anything else? Any other adverse effects because of sulfonamides?
Prevents Johnston
Yes,
syndrome.
and hematuria and renal irritations.
ठीक है. Is there any dose adjustment for this thing? Renal dose adjustment for sulfonamides? Dose adjust करने की जरूरत है या normal dose दे सकते हैं? अगर renal insufficiency है या kidneys are not working properly?
We have to adjust.
Adjust, sir.
You have to adjust. Sulfonamide में adjust करना है या cotrimoxazole में adjust करना?
Cotrimoxazole में.
हाँ, cotrimoxazole में adjust करना. Sulfonamide में करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Generally, see, if the patient is extremely renal insufficient, generally it is switched. Sulfonamide देते ही नहीं. Okay. See, these are points that you will learn in practice. Once you keep on seeing a case again and again, you know, who are being prescribed certain antibiotics, you will see patterns. You start seeing patterns, you start understanding. It will become easier. Okay. Okay, so this is sulfonamide. Any specific adverse effects of cotrimoxazole that are other than this?
Yes, sir.
What are special
Glucose
points?
Stomatitis.
Stomatitis, stomatitis.
Stomatitis.
Stomatitis. What is stomatitis? कौन की inflame होते बोलते बोला था मैं stomatitis में. Not your stomach. Stomatitis is essentially inflammation of your mouth and lips. Okay, it will also cause, someone was telling, glossitis. Glossitis is inflammation of tongue. Okay, other than this, what will it cause? Cotrimoxazole?
Megaloblastic anemia.
Megaloblastic anemia कौन से patients में होता? I gave you a specific criteria.
Folate deficient.
Patients who are folate deficient, correct. And in patients who have renal disease, any sort of renal disease, उसके अंदर cotrimoxazole का dose adjust करना, कम करना पड़ता. Especially अगर severe renal impairment है, you will see creatinine excretion, ठीक है? Serum creatinine देखते हैं and creatinine clearance देखते हैं. I'm sure अगर आपको already पढ़ाए होंगे creatinine clearance के बारे में, last year अपन पढ़े थे LFT के time पे. We studied about creatinine and what is creatinine, how it is formed, and what happens when creatinine clearance is not proper. It will affect GFR. If you remember, I told you what is GFR and how is it related to CRCL, creatinine clearance. If creatinine clearance बराबर नहीं है, generally indicates that your kidneys are not working properly. Anyway, यहाँ पर renal disease patients को you will you will decrease the dose, and generally renal disease patients पे अगर cotrimoxazole दिया तो उनको urea होता. Okay, urea levels will increase in their blood. Okay. Now, when we are talking about cotrimoxazole, I think I told you about this. Just tell you again. Trimethoprim जो है, ये antibiotic है, उसको directly नहीं देते. Okay. If you use trimethoprim solo, let's suppose you are not using cotrimoxazole and you use trimethoprim solo, there is a good chance that resistance will develop very easily with trimethoprim. Okay. And most organisms nowadays have already developed resistance to trimethoprim. So उसको solo generally नहीं देते. दिए भी तो combination नहीं देते. Cotrimoxazole का ऐसा देते. कोई sulfonamide के साथ मिला के देते. Okay. And what is the dose ratio in between sulfoxazole and trimethoprim? What is the T2S ratio? Let's suppose the dose of cotrimoxazole is 480 mg. Trimethoprim कितना रहता है? sulfoxazole कितना रहता है? See, 1:5 है ये. Okay, so it will be 1 part of trimethoprim, 5 parts of sulfoxazole. So this will be 80 to 400. ठीक है, एक cotrimoxazole की tablet में 80 mg of it will be made up of trimethoprim, 400 mg will be made up of sulfoxazole. Okay, so now this covers our sulfonamide and cotrimoxazole. Yesterday we were discussing about quinolones as well and fluoroquinolones specifically. I'll show you one this thing flow chart just to refresh your memory about this thing, the mechanism of action. Here, so this is a slightly more detailed mechanism of action of fluoroquinolones. You can minimize it a little bit, थोड़ा छोटा करके भी लिख सकते हैं, or if you want to, you can write it. It is not like going into complete detail, but it is slightly more than what I told you yesterday. So essentially, what is fluoroquinolone doing? Quinolones, fluoroquinolones, दोनों same काम करते हैं. What they will do is they will bind to one particular type of enzyme called DNA gyrase. That DNA gyrase is also called topoisomerase. ठीक है, topoisomerase, sorry, topoisomerase 2 बोलते हैं उसको. वो एंजाइम का इंपॉर्टेंस क्या है? It is very very important to unbind this thing, your DNA. जब भी replication हो रहा, जब replication हो रहा या protein synthesis हो रहा, your DNA needs to unwind. Transcription needs to occur. फिर ट्रांसक्रिप्शन से ट्रांसलेशन होता. पहले डीएनए से एमआरएनए बनता है, एमआरएनए से प्रोटीन बनता. द सेंट्रल डॉग्मा ऑफ प्रोटीन सिंथेसिस लास्ट ईयर अपन पढ़े थे. ओके, नाउ सॉरी, सेंट्रल डॉग्मा ऑफ सेलुलर माइक्रोबायोलॉजी, सेलुलर बायोलॉजी. तो ये जब अपन पढ़े थे, वी टोल्ड दैट वन डीएनए मॉलिक्यूल, डबल स्ट्रैंडेड डीएनए है. डबल स्ट्रैंडेड डीएनए इज अंडरगोइंग अनबाइंडिंग. इट इज लिटरली becoming two single strands, and those two single strands are turning into mRNA. You get a template, and what templates आपको mRNA बनता. mRNA will go out into the cytoplasm. It will be read by the ribosome. Ribosome will literally attach onto the mRNA like a zip, and उसको पूरे को read करता. And when it is reading, amino acid will come and attach. जो tRNA का काम है and all of that. Eventually, you'll get a protein by several amino acids attaching together, making peptides, and finally peptides becoming proteins. अब यहाँ पर क्या हो रहा? Fluoroquinolones जाके they are binding to this DNA gyrase, and essentially what they will do is once they are binding to DNA gyrase, they will not let unbinding of DNA occur, because of which the mRNA synthesis is inhibited. mRNA synthesis inhibit हो गया तो protein synthesis inhibit हो जाता. Protein synthesis is very important for the survival of any organism, be it human, bacteria, any organism. अगर protein synthesis नहीं हो रहा तो वो organism मर जाता. That is how fluoroquinolones end up killing the bacteria. ठीक है, so this is the mechanism of action of your this thing, fluoroquinolones. Just a refresher, we already discussed this yesterday. Now coming to classification, so I'll give you a basic classification, one or two drugs. Fluoroquinolones को भी 4 classes में divide कर सकते हैं, even though the drug that comes in the 4th class is technically withdrawn from market. Hold on, I'll show you the image itself. हाँ जी, ये देखो. So these are the 4 generations. अब first generation में quinolones को add कर देते हैं. Fluoroquinolones जो है first generation के nalidixic acid, synopsicin, ये quinolones है essentially. Fluorinated नहीं है. Okay. Oxalic acid, इसको भी first generation में डाल रहे हैं. They are mainly for gram negative, but they will not cover pseudomonas. The spectrum B is very important. Whenever you are writing about a drug, make sure you write the spectrum of it, because you need to know what it will work against. If you blindly start giving drugs, resistance, the chance of resistance will increase even more. Okay. Second generation, norfloxacin, ciprofloxacin, very very common. डायरिया के लिए बहुत यूज करते हैं, इन जनरल हॉस्पिटल्स में भी बहुत यूज करते हैं, वो ओपीडी पेशेंट्स में भी बहुत यूज करते हैं सिप्रोफ्लॉक्सासिन, नॉरफ्लॉक्सासिन, इनोफ्लॉक्सासिन नॉट एज मच, ओफ्लॉक्सासिन इज कमिंग नाउअडेज, पीपल आर यूजिंग नाउअडेज. इसका स्पेक्ट्रम विल बी ग्राम नेगेटिव इंक्लूडिंग Pseudomonas species and a few gram positive and negative people. It will not cover everyone, but it will cover a few. Now, some things you have to remember about fluoroquinolones as such is that I think I told you yesterday, resistance will mainly occur if the target enzyme, the DNA gyrase hai, if there is any change in that enzyme, let's suppose that is undergoing mutation, the enzyme is undergoing mutation, or else if there is change in the permeability of that organism. ठीक है, सेलुलर परमिएबिलिटी जो है, पहले ड्रग को अंदर जाना पड़ता सेल के अंदर, बैक्टीरियल सेल के अंदर गए बाद it will reach DNA gyrase, that is when it's showing its effect. If it is not able to penetrate into the bacteria, the drug will be useless. So that is another method where resistance can develop. Either the organism's permeability, cellular permeability is changing, or the enzyme is undergoing mutation. These are the two ways. So mainly E. coli, Staphylococcus, Pseudomonas, Serratia, these have started to develop resistance. Most of them have already developed resistance, and some of them are on the verge of completely developing resistance. All the strains are in. ठीक है, मेनली ये किसको काम करता, ग्राम पर गोनोकोकाई, मेनिंजोकोकाई, H. influenza, E. coli, साल्मोनेला, शिगेला, एंट्रोबैक्टीरिया, H. pylori, ये पूरे पे काम करता. स्पेसिफिकली अगर ग्राम पॉजिटिव बोले, क्लेमिडिया पे काम करता, स्टैफ पे काम करता, और माइकोप्लाज्मा पे काम करता, माइकोबैक्टीरियम पे काम करता. In certain cases, this is given, even in TB. Certain cases, TB की treatment जब करते ना, it is given in, how should I put it? See, there are a group of drugs that are given in different lines. As such, first line treatment, second line treatment, third line treatment, fourth line treatment, ऐसा रहता. That line essentially means that, let's suppose first line treatment, that those are the first drugs that are used. Okay? If someone is coming to you with TB, there will be 4 drugs in first line treatment of TB. वो 4 ड्रग अगर काम नहीं करे, any one of combination में देते generally. If those 4 drugs are not working in the patient, then you move on to second line. If second line is not working, then you move on to third line, because you can get resistant strains of mycobacterium as well in patients. Anyway, so as I was telling you, third generation में mainly levofloxacin, very common, levofloxacin, moxifloxacin. Nowadays, gemifloxacin is also being used slowly, a few of them. Okay. Fourth generation में trovafloxacin आया था, but it was withdrawn from the market because of certain problems, उसको निकाल दिया. ठीक है. But as you can see, इन लोगों का spectrum better होते जाता, ज़्यादा broader होते जाता, ज़्यादा organisms को cover करता है. If you see second generation, its spectrum is slightly better than first. Third is slightly better than second. Fourth is better than all of them, but thirdly it was withdrawn from market. There are other drugs in fourth generation as well, but for now, just this much is enough. ठीक है. Now, whenever you are writing the classification as well, write at least 1 or 2 drugs in each class. ठीक है. अब 2 तो भी लिखना minimum. You don't need to describe all of them in detail. When let's suppose you get a question, short answer की वैसा आ सकता. अगर ऐसा आया, let's suppose describe fluoroquinolones, 4 mark answer. In that scenario, classification में 2 drugs in each class or each generation के 2 drugs, and describe one drug in detail. Meaning वो एक drug का mechanism of action सबका same है. वो एक ड्रग का ADR, कॉन्ट्राइंडिकेशन, इंडिकेशन, स्पेक्ट्रम, डोज, PK, PD पैरामीटर्स, ऐसा. ठीक है. Now, right. So some basic PK parameters that all fluoroquinolones conform to, they get orally administered and they are absorbed very well. In general, आप oral दिया तो इसका administration अच्छा रहता है, and the distribution is also pretty good. One thing that you need to remember is that food and antacids, especially antacids that contain calcium, iron, ठीक है, ये पूरे antacids जो है, they will not sit well with fluoroquinolones. जब भी आप fluoroquinolones, if you give fluoroquinolones along with food or antacid, absorption of fluoroquinolones gets affected. Do not give them together. अगर food दे रहे हैं तो 2 घंटे पहले, 2 घंटे बाद में, कब तो भी देना fluoroquinolones, साथ में नहीं देना. ठीक है, 2 या 3 घंटे, 2 to 3 hours. You have to make sure that there is a gap of 2 to 3 hours between the drug being given, the dose administered, and consumption of food. Okay? Either before or after. Generally after that. Then there are two specific drugs which are pefloxacin and ofloxacin. Floxacin and ofloxacin. ये दोनों can cause BBB. They have the ability to cross BBB, because of which they can use for meningitis. ठीक है? Another important thing about fluoroquinolones, these inhibit microsomal enzymes. Microsomal enzyme inhibitor सही है. इसका मतलब क्या रहता? अगर ये microsomal enzyme inhibitor है, if you remember I told you when we were discussing about general pharmacology, there are certain drugs that will rely on these microsomal enzymes to get metabolized. If microsomal enzymes are getting inhibited, that drug will not work properly. Try to remember the example of rifampicin. I told you OCPs will not work in the presence of rifampicin. The same thing will happen with fluoroquinolones. If you give fluoroquinolone and let's suppose you give any other drug that is relying on microsomal enzymes, what will happen is that drug will start getting accumulated in the body and there will be toxic effects. Especially if you give fluoroquinolones, some of the most common effects that you can see, adverse effects with respect to fluoroquinolones, will be problems with kidney. ठीक है, especially अगर patient को renal failure है, definitely decrease the dose. Okay, decrease dose in renal failure. Okay. Now, depending on creatinine clearance, the dose also will be adjusted. Come करते जाते. Other specific side effects that can occur because of this thing, fluoroquinolones will be nausea. So ADR will be, can cause nausea, vomiting. It can cause abdominal discomfort. Okay. Abdominal discomfort. It can cause diarrhea in certain patients. Okay. Tendinitis is very common. Tendinitis, inflammation of tendons. Tendinitis will occur. Sometimes even tendon rupture. Generally, ये लोगों को छोटे बच्चों में नहीं देते. ठीक है. Pregnancy and it is contraindicated in children who are क्या? Anyone who is younger than 18 years of age. Especially because जो growing cartilage रहती है उसको damage कर सकते हैं. Fluoroquinolones have the ability to damage growing cartilage. That is why it is completely contraindicated in pregnant women and it is contraindicated in people who are younger than 18 years of age. Okay, remember that. In certain cases, this fluoroquinolones can also cause headaches and dizziness, CNS symptoms. Okay. Another important point: if a patient is already on NSAIDs, for example, acetaminophen, paracetamol, diclofenac, aceclofenac, ये पूरे drugs, you have this non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. जब आया जब पढ़ेंगे. But if a patient is on NSAIDs or if the patient is on any epileptogenic drugs, okay, epileptogenic drugs are those drugs that can induce epilepsy or epileptogenic drugs. There are certain drugs which have the risk of causing epilepsy. One example is theophylline. Theophylline is normally used in asthma. It has the risk of causing this thing, epilepsy. अगर आप NSAID, एक patient है, let's suppose, who is already on NSAID and who is already maybe on theophylline, and if you are adding fluoroquinolones to this mixture, okay, the patient will have seizures. They will either have seizures and or they can have prolonged QTC. तो QT interval रहता. अच्छा, आप लोगों को अरिथमियास के बारे में नहीं पढ़ा है नहीं. आप लोगों को लास्ट ईयर जब कार्डियोवास्कुलर सिस्टम पढ़ा रहे थे, कार्डियोवास्कुलर कंडक्शन पढ़ाए, हाउ कंडक्शन ऑफ इंपल्सेस occurs in your heart, what is sinus rhythm and how conduction occurs. अच्छा, ECG पढ़ना पता है क्या आपको? That's a simpler question. Have you been taught how to read? Okay, you've been taught how to read ECG. Then you know what is PQRST. I'm hoping that you know, because QT prolongation जो रहता, QT phase जो रहता, उसका prolongation होता. Because of QT prolongation, the patient will have arrhythmias. Okay, that is essentially what can happen because of fluoroquinolones. Hold on, I'll join the other class. I'll end this one and start the other one. Join that.